Hey guys, Jack from JW Outdoors here. Well, obviously I'm not outdoors. It's been snowing and it was below zero the other night and single digits last night, but it's warming up and we appreciate that. But anyway, I've been over here at my daughter's house helping her with a few projects. She's got a little 2.5-year-old and we're expecting another one here towards the end of the month, the beginning of the next month here. So we had some projects to do, and one of them was putting together 5 of these pieces, and I'm sure you guys out there who've done that know where they come from. They come from Ikea. Now there's all the boxes that they come in. We'll take those to the recycle. But yeah, I had 5 pieces. I had 2 nightstands, and I had 1 tall chest of drawers, and this small dresser, and 1 63/8 drawer dresser for my grandson's room. But yeah, I put together 5 pieces. But what I want to do is give you guys some tips on assembling this stuff. I mean, first thing is you gotta stay positive with it, and I'm 61 years old, and getting on that ground and ground pounding down there to put together that carcass is a little challenging for me. But once you get the carcass assembled, you can stand it up and really pad the top of the piece that you're doing if it's a good sized piece, and use some drop cloths and maybe some cardboard, and do the rest of your drawer assembly on top, and then you're just standing there. It's kind of like a workbench. Works out good for me. I'm not bending over and I'm not crawling around on that ground, because that ground pounding is getting to me there. But anyway, I was looking online before we started assembling all this stuff. I'm kind of a tool guy too, and seen some of the forums. And Ikea, if you call them and you ask them what tools to use, they'll tell you to use a standard Phillips, and maybe even a regular slotted screwdriver for those notorious cam locks. There's your cam locks right there. Those are the ones they want you to just use a flathead screwdriver on. But after some researching online, and even some people put this stuff together professionally, they say to use this. You can look it up on Amazon. That's how you spell it. It's a PosiDrive 2, and your bit will say on it, it'll say PZ2, because this is the standard. PosiDrive is the standard in Europe. If you ask them for a Phillips, or ask them if that screw is a Phillips, they're going to look at you cross-eyed, because they don't even know what a Phillips is anymore. This is what you need. This costs like $8. You just go on Amazon, type in PosiDrive 2, and this will come up. It's from ROK Hardware. They make drawer pulls and stuff, and they must sell the screwdriver because they must use PosiDrive screws on their hardware. But anyway, just look it up on Amazon. It's $8. And I'm telling you what, I put together the 2 little nightstands with the Phillips. The Phillips will just keep camming out of those heads, because those heads are different. If you look at them, it looks like a Phillips, but then there's some more little tick marks on there. And if you look at this, I don't know if it's going to focus or not, but anyway, it's got some more little slots in there. And I'm telling you what, for inside of a PosiDrive screw, that thing holds very well. This is a little bit magnetized, that helps too. And I also bought these Wera power bits for my impact driver. Now, this impact driver is not an essential tool for putting this together. You can do it all by hand. But what I used it for is I use these bits, which are magnetized. They're really nice, and there's a 1, 2, and a 3 PZ posi drives in there. what I used the impact for was to get the screw started. And then I would take it down, and then I would crank it in by hand just to make sure, because some of those holes, if you take that screw or your drawer pull, these little drawer pull screws, see that? If you take them and screw them in too hard with that impact, they're just going to spin out, and then it's going to be loose. So take them down there just almost in, and take your posi drive hand screwdriver and drive them in the rest of the way. Now another way to, like those little screws there, and your cam lock pins, another way to hold them too, especially I used it on the drawer, is I used glue and Loctite. I used a Loctite on the little slide screws. I put just a little, put a little drop on each one. And another thing that comes in handy putting these things together is that is a magnetic tray. It holds all your little screws. I use this one. I put the little screws in there, and then I would take my Loctite and put a little dab on each one, a little bit of just a little dot, and let them set for 10 minutes. And then I'd come back to here, and they all be in there nice and neat, not going to get dumped out, because this is magnetized. And that's how I'd keep those organized. I use Loctite on these slide screws, plus the pins that go in to the cams. I used it on the threads and that too. And I even put a little dab on the end of the pin before I stuck the cam lock in there, just to gum it up, because that Loctite gums up. It makes like a glue, and just something to hold that, to keep that cam from spinning, and to keep the cam lock pin in the hole, and to keep this one locked into the hole so your slides don't get loose and the drawers start getting all wonky and stuff. And I also used wood glue. There's 2 wood dowels in there. The wood dowels are inside here, and then the cam pins go in, and then there's a cam pin, a wooden dowel, and another cam pin. And I put a little drop of wood glue on those dowels too, especially with the drawers, because you know they're in and out, getting banged. If they're in a kid's room, they're really going to get some abuse. But anyway, just, you don't have to use much, just a little drop of each, the Loctite and the wood glue, just a little drop. That'll help. But I'm hoping that's going to help keep these drawers together. You can also use it on the carcass assembly too. Use the Loctite and the wood glue. That's all up to you. And another thing that came in handy, well, and see, here's another metal tray. You see that? I bought that at Menards. You can keep things separate, which is really nice. Keep things organized. This came from Harbor Freight. You can get a coupon for them, 99 cents. You can get 3 or 4 of those. It'd be like $4. And keep everything that's metal. I even put the wood dowels and your plastic things in here, cam locks and all that aren't really metallic, just to keep everything organized. But those really come in handy. The posi drive bits and screwdriver and these little metal trays were the most useful things. There's one more thing, is a rubber hammer. This thing is for tapping only. If you have to whack something, something's not right. And I learned that the hard way, as I didn't have one of the little wooden dowels in one of my drawers all the way in, and I went to set it in. Hopefully you can just push it in with your hand, don't have to tap it at all. But it had some separation, so I gave her a couple of good whacks. Well, the one wood dowel was sticking out just a little bit too far, and it blew the face of my drawer out. And I re-glued it, I clamped it. We called Ikea, and Ikea was gracious enough. They sent us another one. I replaced it. It looks great. But this is just for tapping. Don't use it to bully anything in, because it should slide together, but if it doesn't, you might have to just tap it just a little bit. But like I say, I've been working on this for a while. Put 5 pieces together. It's the first time for me. I got a little bit of woodworking experience, but this is the Hemnes line, which is solid wood, and it's solid pine, and it's some of it's even finger jointed pine. This is a much better choice, I believe, because I believe the other lower lines are particle board. I wouldn't want to mess with those. These you'll be able to move them around, and it's just a lot better thing. If you can step up and upgrade to the solid wood, do it. Please do it. And plus this stain, I wish they would put a clear coat on these, but they don't. We'll see how it wears. Maybe a clear coat would have been nice on there, but it is a stain, so you can restain. You can undercoat over this stain and paint it any color you want. It's that solid wood, so it'll be easy to work with later if you ever want to change it. And there are websites online. It's called like Ikea Hacks, and the people do change the look of them and stuff. But excuse me, with the solid wood stuff, you're going to have some options down the line. Well, that's about it. Like I say, the biggest thing was the posi drives. That's how you spell it. Here's the screwdriver, posi drive. Here's a pencil too, for you might have to mark something. Oh, another thing was when you put those backs on, they're what I call a hardboard. It's paper. It's a paper product. Pre-drill. This is my littlest drill bit, and it's broke, but it still works, and I still use it. And set it in there shallow, real shallow, like that, into your drill, and make sure it's smaller than your nail, the diameter of it. And I just basically poked it through the hardboard, and then I was able to tap the nail in with a little ball peen hammer. Because if you don't pre-drill them, the little cheap nails, they just get all bent up and stuff, and it's really frustrating. But if you pre-drill the holes with a small drill bit that's smaller than the nail, things are going to go a lot easier for you, believe me. All right then, well, I think that's about it. And it's JW Outdoors, and as always, have a good day and enjoy life and be good. I'm signing off.